Hi, I'm Ryan Feely, Director of Finance for the Stanford Public Schools. Before you take part in our budget listening sessions, we wanted to give you an overview of the budget process and some details about the budget that may help guide the discussion. Thank you for taking the time to participate, and thank you for your continued support of the Stanford Public Schools. The operating budget is an estimate of what the Stanford Public Schools will spend next year on the goods and services required to fulfill its mission, which is to provide an education that cultivates productive habits of mind, body, and heart in every student. The operating budget does include funds necessary to maintain current facilities, but it does not cover significant building renovations or the construction of new school buildings. Those are capital projects which are allocated separately. The superintendent's proposed budget is compiled in November and December and is presented to the Board of Education in January. After several weeks of review, the Board of Education votes on the budget in February, and it is sent to the mayor prior to March 1st. In March and April, the boards of finance and representatives have the opportunity to either approve or reduce the proposed budget before it is returned to the Board of Education for final reallocation in May. Those interested in exploring the budget in detail can do so at the finance page of the Stanford Public Schools website, accessible at the link shown. Documents available for review include the multicolored book, which displays the budget organized in 3 different ways, and the white book, which includes information on enrollment, positions by school, grants, and other items listed here. As I mentioned earlier, the budget can be organized and analyzed in a few different ways. Every account and dollar spent can be related to an object, a program, a function, and a location. Objects like teacher's salary and electricity are system-wide and provide a macro view of spending. Programs, functions, and locations provide details about the distribution of resources within the district. This is a sample of a page in the multicolored budget document found in the finance section of the Stanford Public Schools website and organized by object. The header, Object 101, Teacher's Salary, denotes the primary organizational dimension of the section. The column to the far left specifies the function, location, and program tied to each line. The columns across display actual and budgeted spending from prior years, as well as the budget progression for the year in question, from superintendent's request through final approval. This is a sample of a page in the White Book, found in Section 8, Human Resources. The location, in this case, Hart Magnet School, is found in the upper left. Below the location is a breakdown of enrollment by grade and employee by position for the current year. The tables on the right contain the same data with next year's budgeted figures included. Over the past 5 years, the average increase to the Board of Education operating budget is 2.28%. Budget increases dating back to 2012 are displayed below, along with the Urban Consumer Price Index increases for each year. Last year's increase of just under 1% was driven by significant economic uncertainty due to COVID-19. And it should be noted that state law effectively prevents certain cities, including Stanford, from reducing the school allocation year over year by tying the disbursement of certain grant funds to that minimum requirement. One way to gauge whether the overall operating budget spend is reasonable is to compare per pupil spending to surrounding districts. As you can see, Stanford is in the middle of pack for Fairfield County by this measure. The abbreviation NCEP stands for Net Current Expenditures per Pupil, and includes all operating and grant funds. There are a few items which have an outsized impact on the operating budget each year. These budget drivers include enrollment, class sizes, contracts, health insurance, special education, transportation, maintenance, and program efficiencies. Contrary to trends nationally and in the rest of Connecticut, Stamford's enrollment has grown and continues to grow. Assuming that class sizes remain at around 20 students per class on average, that enrollment growth drives cost increases in many areas of the budget. The object dimension of the budget can be further summarized into major objects. For example, objects 101 through 123, which all deal with the wages of different employee groups, can be summarized as object 100, salaries and wages. This helps provide a high-level view of how funds are allocated. As you can see, for 2020-21, salaries and wages plus benefits equals over 75% of the total operating budget. When object 500, which is comprised of transportation costs and out-of-district special education costs, is included, over 90% of the total budget is accounted for. Though the details of the budget change each year, when we view the budget by major object over a 5-year term, we can see that the breakdown is very consistent. Barring significant structural changes, we can expect the breakdown for 2021, 22, and beyond to be similar. COVID-19's effect on the school system in every respect cannot be understated. From a financial perspective, COVID caused the district to spend significantly on PPE, plastic barriers, specialty cleaning supplies, and other related items. The cost for these items, as well as other spending necessitated by COVID, has been borne to this point by federal grants provided in the CARES Act. For next year, the district must consider the ongoing financial costs of COVID and how to fund them, as to date, no additional federal or state funding has been guaranteed. Thank you again for taking the time to view this presentation and to take part in our listening sessions. If you have additional questions after the listening session, please feel free to email me at the address shown. Thank you.